All right, we are following breaking news right now. President-elect Donald Trump's sentencing for his May criminal conviction has once again been delayed. Now, this is the third time sentencing has been pushed back since Trump was found guilty for his role in a cover-up of a hush money payment. Let's bring in former Deputy Assistant Attorney General Tom Dupree for more on that. All right, this coming down just within the last hour or so, Tom. What are your reactions? Third time this has been delayed.
Yeah, look, my reaction number one is I'm not surprised. I think even the DA recognized that sentencing was virtually impossible to go forward on the scheduled date. So it doesn't surprise me. I do think what's a bit intriguing about the judge's decision is that he also invited briefing from Trump's lawyers about whether the case should be dismissed entirely on the grounds of immunity. So that shows that the judge is at least interested in entertaining those arguments that this case needs to be thrown out entirely. So we'll have to wait probably another month or so before we know for sure what Judge Merchan is going to do with this case.
Yeah, that word indefinitely sort of looms. It's very ambiguous. What did that mean to you? What did that signal to you, that word of indefinitely? Do you think that thing is going to get thrown out?
I think there's a good chance that it gets thrown out. The judge is clearly wrestling with a very complicated issue. Judges obviously are loath to throw out jury convictions. You know, they put in all the time and effort supervising the trial. They're not just inclined to throw these things out. Obviously, we're in unique circumstances here. We've never had this situation before in our nation's history. And I think the judge is wrestling with it and grappling with it. But at the end of the day, I think the Trump lawyers are going to be able to present a pretty persuasive case to this judge that the case just can't proceed any longer now that Trump has been elected.
Yeah, I mean, he takes the White House end of January. So do you think that this has really been looming over the Trump camp as he prepares to take office?
Well, I think it's looming in the sense that, look, we still don't know exactly how this is all going to play out. That said, my guess is that the Trump defense team and the White House that's being assembled right now isn't super concerned about this. I think it is the chances that Trump would actually get sentenced to, jail or any sort of meaningful punishment at this point is virtually zero. So although it's hovering out there, I don't think they view this as a serious threat to the incoming administration.
I mean, nothing about this is normal. Nothing with any of this is normal. But does this decision set some sort of precedent for other similar cases that could come forward in the future?
Well, sure, it would. I mean, look, it tells you that if you have a situation where someone is convicted of a crime, but that person then is poised to take the reins and, be in charge of the nation and serve as president, then maybe the normal rules don't apply and that you can't sustain a conviction and sentence someone in that position. So, yes, I do think that it does set a precedent. Whether or not this ruling would ever come back to future presidents or would be in this situation again as a nation is certainly up for debate. But yeah, I mean, this will set a precedent.
Yeah, and I'm curious, this is all coming as Donald Trump is making his picks for his cabinet. A couple of people that he's named have had their own legal challenges. Do you think this ruling today is going to impact any of those decisions moving forward?
I'm not sure it's going to have a direct impact on those people, the cabinet members, the nominees' situations going forward. I mean, it will have an effect on other people who are charged alongside with Trump in some of the other pending cases. For example, in Georgia, where you have a situation that at least, as of this moment, there is still a pending criminal case against Trump and, the other defendants. That case obviously can't go forward against Trump at this point. But as far as the other defendants go, it remains to be seen what, if any, impact this all has on their cases.
All right, I want to switch gears for just a moment. We're going to get back to this in a bit, but I want to get your reaction to Matt Gaetz withdrawing from the name for Attorney General yesterday and Trump quickly making a next pick with Bondi. What do you make of what transpired yesterday?
Well, look, I mean, it wasn't a surprise given that the resistance that we were already seeing, even among the Republican senators. These were senators that Trump obviously was counting on. He obviously needed them in order to confirm Gaetz as Attorney General. And I think everyone saw the writing on the wall. Gaetz himself saw that there was no path forward, given what many of these Republican senators were already saying, the concerns that they were expressing. So I think they made a strategic decision that given that there was no way forward, they needed to cut their losses. He withdrew, and now we have Pam Bondi in as the new nominee for Attorney General of the United States.
Yeah, what do you make of her, the pick of Pam Bondi so quickly, and what do you, and her kind of relationship with the Trump team?
Sure. Look, she has a very strong relationship with the Trump team. She served as Florida's attorney general. She was involved in the prior impeachment proceedings on Trump's side. So she is someone who is well known to the Trump camp. She is trusted by the Trump camp. And unlike Matt Gaetz, she has experience as a federal prosecutor and actually serving as an attorney general.
And I'm curious, do you think this is going to have any impact on Pete Hegseth, given the controversy surrounding his nomination?
Well, one thing it will do is it will put the spotlight on the Hegseth nomination in a way that it wasn't before. I think right now, a lot of people are focused on the Gaetz nomination and what was going to happen with that. He's off the table now, and so people now will turn their attention to Hegseth and see whether he can get the Republican votes and the other votes that he needs in order to win confirmation.
You know, the position of Attorney General is so important for any administration, but for the Trump administration, it plays a very crucial role. Can you break that down for us?
Yeah, look, you said it. The DOJ is going to be the center of the action in the new Trump administration. During the campaign, Trump made no secret that he was going to change the culture at DOJ. He was going to try to eliminate what he saw as political bias that had infested the department. And he was going to run DOJ very differently than Joe Biden has and other former presidents has. So for all those reasons, Trump focused a lot of attention on who was going to lead DOJ. That's one reason why he prized loyalty in choosing someone, in this case, Pam Bondi, that he knows, that he trusts, and that will be willing and able to implement the agenda that he's contemplating.
All right, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General Tom Dupree, thanks so much for sticking with us.